Welcome everybody to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a Sunday to talk about Happily Ever After. Where do you want to jump into first?
Huh,
I mean,
also,
the biggest thing obviously was the Jasmine Gino thing, but we could save that for a little later if you want.
I mean, yeah, we can save that. We can kind of jump into this. Hold on, I forgot what I was gonna say. We can jump into Lento. So Lento, the song came out tonight, and we found out tonight that Guillermo has his own place. So
Mhm.
we kind of got a little follow up, right? Because she kicked him out of the house. We didn't know what was going on with him, so he's got his own place. And I think what was really interesting was he didn't have a damn thing to do, but he still didn't go to her concert. So I was like,
He was
that
putting together a
was
hammock and shit.
yeah, like that was a massive like fuck you. Cause he was like, yeah, I have literally nothing to do, nothing on the DVR. I'm gonna build a hammock. I would rather do anything than be around you. So I thought that was kind of funny because I was like, damn, I could see if he had to work,
Mhm.
if he had to babysit, or he had a flat tire, but he was just like, I just don't care about her. So I thought that was kind of funny.
No, that is funny. Because I personally am not a fan of like building furniture, so he chose to build furniture instead of go to her event.
Yeah, yeah. He was building a hammock at night, so he wasn't even gonna use it that night. He literally was just like, I would rather like bathe in bleach than go listen to her sing some song like Linto. Like he was just like so over her. I thought it was kind of funny. And I didn't see him as like a revenge type of guy, but you know that he did that to be spiteful, and I thought it was kind of funny.
hmm But I'm trying to remember what he was saying like on the show, his explanation. So yeah, she was looking at her phone, she was laughing, and then he like tried to get behind her and she like hit her phone, and that was kind of the beginning of the end or something.
Well, right. He said that she was hiding the text so he couldn't read it, and he was like, if you're talking to someone and you won't tell me who it is, then you're probably cheating. And I mean, they were sleeping in separate rooms already, so I mean, it was pretty much over anyway. So
Mm.
I don't know. I think it's theirs might actually be the only like legit non-storyline because we know that they broke up in real life too. So this might actually be they hate each other for real. Like it might be the only real thing that we're watching.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So whose side are you on in that breakup, or is it too early to say?
Oh, see, I've been watching the tweets about the show and it's like 50-50. Like everybody feels like they're saying that Kara's not being fair because she won't let him follow his dreams because he wants to be a pilot, but
Mm.
she gets to like go to Spain and record an album and perform her music because they were like they said that her excuse was like you can't go to the army because the Air Force was brought up and because that's a free way to become a pilot, and she was like, oh well, you can't do that because you have a child, you have a family, who's going to raise this child? And then everyone online is like, but she can fly to Spain or Italy or wherever she's going to record an entire album. How is she raising her kid there? So they're like, it's very hypocritical. And they're saying that she can do whatever the hell she wants and he's not allowed to. So a lot of people are definitely team Guillermo online. I don't know if I'm like, I don't think I've picked a side
Mhm.
because I mean, he definitely, I hate to say this because it's not fair, but when you're a man, the man isn't supposed to follow his dreams. The man is supposed to bring home the money to take care of the family. Once you have a family and a kid, your dreams are done. They're dead. They're in the ground. They've been set on fire. They're over. You don't get to do anything. You just become the income producer provider for that family. And I know it's not fair though, but it's kind of like how society works. Like men don't get to follow their dreams after they have a kid. They just get to go to work and pay the rent or pay the mortgage and feed that kid. That's literally all you get to do.
Like, yeah, it's one thing if like your wife, is working with like an independent producer or whatever producer in Virginia, and she's like in the same state. It's another thing when your wife is flying out to freaking Italy to go to some Italian music producer in like exciting Italy. I'm sure he has an Italian, sexy Italian accent, and she's there like over, for at least a weekend. Like that's a different, and they're producing music. It's very romantic. Like that's a different beast.
Well, we know the stories of how, especially with women in the music industry. I don't know if y'all follow the the story of Kesha and Dr. Luke. But whenever a woman is trying to make it in the industry, men tend to take advantage of that woman. Like Diddy did it too, like with different women. Like when a woman is trying to record an album, men are like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna help you. You
Mhm.
gotta bang me." Right? Like that's how the music industry works, unfortunately, for women. So Guillermo isn't completely wrong. He's like, if she's getting helped by all these different male producers, there's something going on. Because what are they getting out of it? Right? Because she's an independent artist. What are the odds that this is going to be a top 10 hit? It's not. So, what do you think these men are getting out of it? You know exactly what they're getting out of it. There's a reason why they want to keep working with her if she doesn't have any money to offer them.
Yeah, it's like, well, who doesn't want to, whether your song is a hit or not, it's like, at the end of the day, you have a business trip to like Italy and like Spain. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, she knows she's gonna have a good ass time, whether the music aside, like she knows she's gonna have like a romantic, or like, even like if she's alone, it's like a romantic, sexy, like trip.
Well,
You know what I
it's
mean?
so lavish. I think she's always wanted that lavish lifestyle. And I think that she's come to the acceptance that Guillermo is never going to be able to give her that. So she kind of is looking at it like a have your cake and eat it too situation. She's like, well, I'm married and I have a kid, but I can pursue the lifestyle I want through my music. So she's like, people will fly me out and I can perform in these beautiful tropical places. She can have the best of both worlds. But at the end of the day, we're not allowed to have cake and eat cake. You have to pick one. So I think that that's why it fell apart because you're not allowed to have a son and a dad or husband or a baby dad or whatever you want to call him, and go out on the road and tour. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can look at your cake, you can sniff your cake, but you can't eat it.
And
But she
like,
can't even pronounce like the genre of music she's doing correctly.
uh, j-
Well, in her defense, I also cannot pronounce it. So
It's bachata.
bachata,
like,
but
what, like
also
what country did bachata originate in or whatever?
Dominican.
yeah, the Dominican Republic.
So like, here's the point I'm trying to make, is like, for me, if we want to get all authentic with the music and shit, to me it would make more sense if she was flying out to the Dominican Republic to work with a Dominican like music producer, because that's like the origin home of bachata. So like, to me that's like, I can't really argue against that. But to me, going to an Italian bachata producer in Italy, like that's a different beast. That's like going to a Mexican establishment for like Chinese food.
No,
Yeah.
I was thinking that's like me recording a country album. So to get inspiration, I would go to Beyonce and ask her to help me because she's not country. But no, yours was better. Yours was way better.
Yeah, so like that's why I'm a little, again, like that part of it, I'm a little on Guillermo's side. But I mean, I'm a fan of Kara. But if I wasn't a fan of Kara, like, and I was more objective, then I would be way more on Guillermo's side, probably.
I mean, I think that there's space for both
Mhm.
because she literally shot him down. She's like, you can't go to the. Well, she didn't say you couldn't go to the Air Force. She just said if you did, I ain't gonna support you and I ain't moving nowhere with you. But in the same aspect, she was like, well, I'm gonna go to Italy and record, and you just got to deal with it because this is what I want to do. So it's hard because I don't know their marriage. I don't know their boundaries. Like I always considered Guillermo to be like her little boy toy, and then I did some age comparison. They're like the same age. He
Mhm.
just looks young. He's not young. He's 30 something years old. He's not a boy. He should be doing more, right? Like he should be producing more. And I think that she thought, oh, I'm gonna marry somebody my own age. We're gonna have a kid, we're gonna start a family, he's gonna step it up. Women, they're like, I can change him, I can fix him. He's not gonna always be a waiter. Right? Like I'm gonna change him. I'm gonna teach him that he can do more and he's gonna bring home money. We're gonna live this lavish lifestyle. And I think she woke up one day and realized no, he's gonna be a waiter. That's just what he's gonna do. He's not gonna try to do anything else. And I think that's when she realized that it was time to close the coochie. Like that's when she was like, "You can sleep in another room because I don't even want you in my bed. If you're just gonna be bringing home tips every night, I don't even want your tip, right?" Like she was like, "You can just go sleep somewhere else."
Basically, yeah. So that's that. All right, you want to talk about Adnan and Tiger Lily?
Oh yeah, we're talking about the placenta smoothie.
Oh, well, somebody said that was like a Kim Kardashian, like the Kardashian storyline. So they just like rehashing a placenta storyline.
Oh, did they do that? I don't know. I don't watch the Kardashians. So did Kim eat her placenta or smoothie drink her placenta or whatever?
Let me see. A friend texted. They said, this is what my friend texted me. Well, Elena.
I think it was Courtney.
Is it, well, this, yeah, it says like, it might have been, but this might, I got a text that says Tiger Lily is trying to be a Kardashian so bad. First she talked first she talked all first she talked about all that placenta stuff, which Kim was kind of all over the news for years ago. Then she mentioned she wanted to name her baby Air, which is Kylie's son Air. So yeah, she's like,
Wait. Kylie has a son named Air. I didn't know that.
yeah.
So yeah, she's trying to name her kid after a Kardashian. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And it does make sense because she is trying to model herself as this ditzy, rich, Kardashian, strange talking type of woman. So yeah, that makes sense. I think that she's under the impression that she can use this show to make her a larger than life um what do you call it, like reality star. I think she thinks she's on Vanderpump Rules, I guess, or Love Island. Like I don't know. I think she thinks that she's on a different show and she's really trying or whatever. But she can try. We still gonna drag her. Like ain't nobody gonna be worried about her the way she thinks she's gonna have her fan base build. But I'm with Adnan. I hate to agree with idiots, but I'm with Adnan because the placenta situation is just not. I couldn't drink or eat that.
Mhm.
Right, like when she pulled it out of the refrigerator and it looked like a organ, like it looked like a heart or whatever. It was covered in blood. I was just like, yeah, I'm not built for that. I would also vomit on the floor. So it definitely was like too much for me.
By the way, so then I was just trying to be goofy and funny, but like but there is a real answer. I looked into like if placenta is considered like halal or not. So then I have an answer if you're curious.
Wait, you mean like kosher for him to eat as a Muslim?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he was gonna eat it, but what did it say?
For shits and giggles, I looked it up. So okay, let me just read some of the shit. Well, I asked whether eating placenta is considered halal depends on the interpretation of Islamic dietary laws, and scholars differ on the issue. Mainstream Islamic opinion. Many scholars view the placenta as part of the human body, and since consumption of human flesh is haram, eating placenta would generally not be considered halal. And then the minority view is some may argue that because the placenta is a temporary organ expelled after birth and not part of the person's ongoing body, it's not explicitly addressed in scripture. But even then, most lean toward avoidance due to the principle of harma el insha, whatever, which stands for sanctity of the human body. One last thing, it says medical use. Even in non-food content, some scholars discourage it if it's derived from human tissue. So in short, in most Islamic rulings, eating placenta would not be halal friendly, but it is not universally discussed as pork or alcohol. So rulings can vary between madhabs, aka schools of thought, and that's about it.
Oh, I didn't think of that because technically, yeah, eating human flesh, that's like cannibalism. I didn't think of it that way. Huh, interesting. But I know a lot of women in the US do this. It's like a thing. And I don't know how much like is it that people do it to get attention as of doing it for the I don't know, health benefits. Because I notice a lot of women, the reality stars and famous people that do it, they do it publicly, like everybody has to know. So I was like, I don't know if people are doing it because they just want attention or if they're doing it because they really think that it's healthy. I can't determine which one it is.
Yeah, to me, it just seems like the producers thought up the storyline for them to do something interesting.
Well, they failed. This was not interesting. Nothing that they do is interesting. And Adnan is he's like what's his name? Mahadi 2.0. So there was like they went to the doula's office, which is basically the midwife, and there was a bunch of naked statues and boobs and exposed, you know, statues. And he was like, "You need to cover these statues." And I was like, "What is it with Muslim men being completely freaked out by naked women?"
Mhm.
Like I'm confused by that. Are they all like prude? Like what's the deal with that? Like cuz and the idea of like Mahadi when he was like, "Oh, well, we can't go to a strip club because I wouldn't be comfortable with a woman's breast." And I was like, "But you're straight though." Like, what's wrong with a woman's breast? Like, I'm super confused. Obviously, you wouldn't take Kenny and Armando to a strip club. Yeah, actually, they probably would have fun, but they would probably be more comfortable around topless women than Adnan and Mahdi. And I'm just confused at that thing because if you're straight, they're marrying women, they like women, they clearly want to be with women, but the idea of a woman naked makes them really uncomfortable is really weird to me.
I think it's basically taboo and they're not used to it, right? From a standing point, there's no strip clubs probably there where they're from. So it's basically considered like taboo.
I mean, okay, so do they not have the internet? Because
Well, like we've mentioned before, some of these sites, depending on where they live, could be blocked.
oh, so they can't even watch like naked women online. I mean, I guess if
I wouldn't think so.
Like with Mahdi, I would lump in like naked women into like how he was when the show first started, where like he couldn't even take a joke. So I feel like now, where now he's able to take my jokes, and now he's used to being exposed to all these titties and shit. Now I think he's like would be okay with it. I think he just needed like that time.
was it like a little
Like a
initiation?
westernized.
Yeah, like he
Feel like
got
an
that's
initiation process. You had to get used to it. I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, when I was raised in a cult, when I got out of the cult, I it was a little shocking that there was a lot of things going on in the world that I didn't know about. Like I had never trick or treated or went out for Halloween. So I remember the first time I went out to a Halloween party, it was kind of crazy because I was like, because we were taught that Halloween was the devil's day and you didn't leave the house because that's when the devil literally was walking the earth. So like when I went to my first Halloween party as a grown ass adult, I like had the best time of my life. So I guess you're right. It's like a little hazing initiation. You got to get used to the idea of a new
yeah.
normal. I mean,
A new world, basically,
and
that's not hidden.
what could be worse than boobs everywhere, right? Like it's just weird to me when I see straight men saying, "Well, I definitely don't want to be around those boobs," and I was like, "Why? What's wrong with that?" Like when I was younger, I wanted to be around boobs all the time because I wasn't allowed. So it's like, yeah, they weren't allowed, but it doesn't mean that you don't want to because I still wanted to. I just wasn't allowed.
True. Since it's late, should we quickly talk about what's his name, Libby and Andre, and then end with Jasmine and Gino?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get into the $75,000
Mhm.
investment, which this wait, what was that sound?
That was me laughing underneath
Oh,
my
okay.
breath
It
when
caught
you
me.
said it,
So yeah,
when you said investment.
the $75,000 investment that Andre claims that he invested in Moldova for real estate, which I wanted to translate for you guys, which is what Chuck invested in Moldova because we all know that Andre and Libby don't have jobs and they don't have money. So it would be impossible them to invest anything because they don't have any money. So Chuck, who is their cash cow, have you ever noticed that they can't film a season without Chuck because Chuck is literally the fund of he's funding everything. So they can't do anything whatsoever. Every season that we've ever watched with Libby and Andre, Chuck had to be there because without him, they can't even afford a Diet Coke. Like he literally has to be there to fund everything. They couldn't even afford a hotel when they got to Moldova. They had to live with Andre's parents. And then when Chuck arrived, all of a sudden they could afford to rent an Airbnb. And why do you think that is? Because Chuck had to pay for it. So like this whole storyline is a far reach for me because the idea that they ever had $75,000 of their own, that's a stretch. But then the idea that they handed it over to some random person in Moldova that they didn't know is that's even more of a stretch for me.
Yeah, I don't have a counter to your what you just said. Sounds legit to me. But yeah, I think that's the only interesting storyline that could drum up, which was the $75,000.
Well, it's BS. It's stupid. They did look at some places which were actually really nice. The penthouse and the townhouse that they looked at were very nice. But again,
Yeah, it was annoying me when like Libby in the interviews, like the pickup interviews, she's like, "Yeah, the houses were looking really nice and blah blah blah," and she's still like going along with the storyline that's a real possibility that they're going to move there. That Florida woman is not leaving fucking Florida.
No, there's no chance in hell that she would ever leave Florida because her cash cow lives in Florida. Chuck, if the only way they would move to Moldova is if Chuck would agree to move to Moldova because they can't live without Chuck. If Chuck isn't there to pay the mortgage, the rent, the car note, put food in their mouths, he's literally their cash cow. So the idea that they would move away from their meal ticket is just idiotic and diabolical and stupid. So the storyline is just that. It's a storyline. You in order to be on the show, I used to think it was important that you had a storyline, but then again, Lauren and Alexi and Jovi and Yara are on this season without a storyline. So I guess it's not as important as it used to be because you used to at least have one, but now they have people on the show just to put them on.
Yeah. All right, so should we go to Jasmine, Gino, and Natalie?
This was the most interesting part of the episode, right? So Michelle, I was having some fun tweets me and Captain before because Captain was saying that if Natalie, no, not like if Michelle married into her family, because I felt the same way. I was like, Michelle married into my family and she did the shit that she did. She pulled the stuff that she pulled. She would already be in the ICU because the way that she's acting, like she's like, oh, we're having a family event, so I'm gonna invite his ex-wife or his wife and her boyfriend, and I'm gonna pin them on each other so they can fight each other. And I was like, see, my family would mop the floor with her. The way that she moves, like that's that messy family member.
Michelle is like, so Jasmine's the big bully, and Michelle is like the person behind the bully, like instigating and shit.
Well, the way that I mean, and I don't want to put this all on Michelle because we know that the producers wanted Jasmine to show up to this event. They just you unfortunately Michelle was the scapegoat. She's the one that had to take the fall and said that she invited her. Producers set this whole thing up because did you notice that there was security already in place? They knew that this was
Mhm.
going to get out of hand. They wanted that. And they're gonna deny it. They're gonna be like, "Oh no, we didn't want any fighting. We don't condone fighting." Yes, they do. They absolutely wanted these two women to fight, and they got, I guess, more than they bargained for because there was more fighting than what we saw tonight. There was definitely more. It got a little more out of hand than they wanted to air. But it's just interesting because Jasmine called her a whore. She called her a prostitute. She called her low class. And I was like, Jasmine, those are all terms used to describe you. And you arrived to this event with your side piece
Mhm.
what? Okay, so when you have a side piece, Gina and Shabooty, you don't bring your side piece to family events. There's a song by Monica. It's called "Sideline Hoe," and there's rules for the sideline hoe. She can't be at Christmas. You can't go to church. You can't go to family events because you're a sideline hoe. And I don't know what made Matt think that he it's appropriate for him to be at a family event. You're not family. You're a hoe. You're a slut whore. You're a purchased piece of ass. You don't get to
Well,
a family event.
Jasmine called Matt her roommate. I'm like, roommate? I don't know any roommates that sleep together.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the producers wanted Matt there. That's the reason he showed up. But
Well, yeah,
And
because
what
we're
was
gonna
he wearing?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I saw that too. Well, he was there because apparently next week there's going to be a confrontation. He wants to confront Gino. So again, producers wanted a confrontation between Natalie and Jasmine, and then there's going to be a confrontation between Matt and Gino. But when you're a sideline piece, you don't show up to family events. That's literally an unspoken rule. You're the side piece. You're not invited to Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner. You don't get to hang with the family. You're not a part of this. You're just someone that gets a late night text when the person feels like cheating.
yeah, so then I did a tweet. I don't know so I did a tweet about this, and I guess I spilled a little tea, but here, let me just read my tweet. It says, allegedly, it says, exclusive tea. It says, this is from my tweet. It says, Jasmine's attack on Natalie was way more vicious than what was shown. Let's just say an 8-ball corner pocket, and the pocket was Natalie's head. Then they had to shut down the shoot for an hour to calm everyone down. And then I went on to say how crazy Jasmine is. And yeah, she's a hypocrite and it doesn't have accountability. But yeah, to like elaborate a little bit, I guess like yeah, it got physical. Like I don't know. Like, I can't remember if like Jasmine tried to throw a pool ball at Natalie's head, but it was something like that went down, and they literally it got so like crazy and vicious they had to shut down the shoot for like an hour so everyone could just calm the fuck down, so it doesn't so we could at least like have a like civil. Like at some point, it got so uncivil that they had to just shut it down to say, everyone, like, go in your corners for the next hour and calm down. So that's how crazy it got.
So one of your commenters on that post on Instagram said pretty much heard the same thing from a friend who was on the crew that day.
Mm. Well, yeah, of course my tea is real, but yeah, okay.
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying, like,
Well,
someone else also
Mm.
said that as
well,
well in your comments.
we know that Jasmine is unhinged because she got violent at the tell-all for The Last Resort. She was throwing shoes, and we know that she's unhinged. But it just makes you wonder why the producers would set Natalie up like that. And there's rumors that Natalie's a hired actress. There's rumors that she's not. But either way, I feel like she got set up. Regardless if she's an actress or not, she definitely got set up. And there's no reason why she should show up there and get her ass beat. Like the producers knew what was gonna go down, and then they let Jasmine get her lick in, and then when Natalie went in to fight back, they held her back. That's the shit that pisses me off. Like, don't hold me back. Once they hit me, don't hold me back. Let me whoop their ass. Like, don't hold me back because you didn't hold her back. You let her get her lick in, and now you won't let me get mine in, and that's not the shit. Because they're protecting Jasmine. Jasmine's their cash cow. So Jasmine gets to hit people, but then when people come to check her, they hold people back. And that's the same thing that happened with her and Rob. Jasmine got to hit Rob. Rob couldn't get even close to her. Once he stood up, security was already there to protect her. And it's like, I don't like that.
Yeah, when Natalie probably tried to like retaliate, I think they like pushed her. They probably like pushed her outside of outside of the building.
Well, right.
Yeah.
That's the shit I don't like. It's like you want to let her act unhinged. If you want to act like you are big and bad and you want to throw hands, throw hands. But don't do it because security is present and they're going to protect you. Because at the end of the day, security's not going to always be here. And I might run into you. Okay, I might be able to run into you somewhere. So meet me with that same energy. And I know that Jasmine is never going to meet her with that same energy. Jasmine was ready to fight because she knew that there was a security team in place to make sure that nobody put their hands on her. That's exactly why she acted the way she did.
Yeah. And like, yeah, and she's what's it called? Like a self-report. So like everything she was saying about Natalie applied to her, like she's the actual whore, allegedly.
Well, she showed up there with her boyfriend to her husband's family event. And she's like, "You're a prostitute from Vegas." And I was like, "You're a prostitute from Panama. What's the difference?" And I was like, first of all, she's not even a prostitute because she offered coochie to Gino the day before, and Gino said no.
Mhm.
So I was like, how you gonna come up here and say that she's a whore? She ain't even had sex with this man. You probably fucked Matt 15 minutes ago. Like how you gonna come up here and call her a whore when you're the only whore we looking at?
Yeah, like Jasmine probably walked into the bar with, pardon, not to be crude, but I'm about to be crude. Jasmine probably walked into the bar with freaking Matt's like jizz dripping down her leg.
Well, yeah, because she's nasty. She didn't even shower afterwards. She just got dressed and went. Because that she's nasty. You already know. We've seen her OnlyFans. She gross. Like, so I don't know. It just really irritated me because it's the hypocrisy, right? Because she was like, "Oh, well, he's a cheater and I didn't approve of this and I don't even know this bitch and this whore." And I was like, see, this is what I don't like. Why does a woman have to call another woman every name in the book? Right? Like, why does she have to be all of those names when you're literally banging somebody other than your husband? But you're not a whore for that, but she's a whore because she wants to be with your husband. Like, I don't know. It just it I don't know. It struck a nerve with me because it's like you said, she's an accountability. She doesn't take accountability for anything. And I'm just waiting for somebody. She's gonna check somebody, and I want this person to show her what happens when you fuck around and find out. She hasn't checked the wrong person yet, right? Because you know how people do. They get in everybody's face and they act like they want to fight, but they're really not about that life. Jasmine's not about that life. I'm waiting for her to check the wrong person. And it looked like it might have been Natalie, but they didn't let her get to her. Because I was like, I feel like Natalie might have dragged her and mopped the floor with her if she had the opportunity, but they wouldn't let her. Because like I'm waiting for somebody to get the opportunity. Because Jasmine definitely needs to be dropped down like 4 notches. Right? Like not one, not two, like 4 notches. Her face probably should come in contact with a floor at some point. Just
My
for
fist.
prosperity, right? Just for prosperity, just so she knows at the end of the day, when you fuck around, sometimes you find out.
Yeah. And then this is a random thing. I think it's not related to the show, but apparently, I guess yesterday or over the weekend, I'm not sure. Well, she was at like somebody took a photograph of her at Busch Gardens with Matt.
Oh, that's in Tampa Bay. Oh,
Uh,
that's probably like 10 or 15 minutes from her house.
okay.
Yeah, that's yes, where she lives in Clearwater. That's in Tampa Bay. That's yeah, like literally just over the bridge.
See, I wasn't sure because I know there's one in like Williamsburg, Virginia.
Oh yeah, that no, Busch Gardens, she was in Tampa Bay. I love that park. It's like a zoo and a
Hmm.
theme park like together. It's actually really nice. It's like SeaWorld but for animals.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's close to her house. Yeah, but I didn't realize she was there. That's funny. I've never seen her there. So that's kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, what is she? I want to see the picture. Did you post a picture of that?
No, I didn't post it at all. It's in my DMs, but
Oh,
uh,
see that. Yeah. What did she have her kid with her?
no, I don't think the kid was around.
Oh, she abandoned this one already, Shabooty? Damn. This one's
Would it surprise you?
Gina. This one's fresh out to coochie and she's already abandoning the kid. What
Yeah.
the fuck? Like, you can't take the kid to the zoo with you. It's literally a zoo with rides. Don't you think your kid would enjoy seeing the animals? She's already leaving the kid at home, just like she did once and the other one. Like, she is such a pattern person. She's so predictable.
Yeah. Oh, and then real quick, like this is from the this is from the it's like at the end of the show with the credits are rolling and then it shows a preview, I guess, for next week. So I was going to read
Hmm.
it was from like Matt talking. So this is Matt talking. He says like from the closed caption, it says like Gino's a F like bleep. Gino's a effing, I'm assuming it means fucking. So Gino's a fucking scumbag. I'm getting fed up. And then what else does he say? He says, this is Matt talking. He says, Gino's a very selfish person, so I have a lot on my chest. So like so he's calling Gino a scumbag, so Matt's not a scumbag.
I mean, to be banging another man's wife, I think you are automatically a scumbag. I can't think of anything other than a scumbag, right? Like, and I don't care if he's like, oh, I have permission. There's no such thing as permission to bang another man's wife, period.
At least like you're calling him a scumbag, at least like have some what's it called? Like I don't want to say remorse, but have some kind of like guilt.
Gratitude. Like, have some gratitude that you're banging his wife and you're still alive. Because you know how many times I watched on the first 48 where somebody was banging another man's wife and they ended up in under the underground. Like, have some gratitude that he's not destroying you, right? Because I've seen enough episodes of Dateline in the first 48 to know that you shouldn't be openly banging people's wives or husbands for that matter. Like, because people don't take well to that. That it doesn't usually end in a good way. So the idea that he's confronting Gino, he's like, "I'm sick of this man." I'm like, "You're sick of the man who is allowing you to bang his wife with no consequence. Like, you're tired of that." And also in turn, he's given you a reality TV career, something that you didn't have before. Have some gratitude, right? How about you buy him some flowers and say thank you? That's what you should be doing. Like, hey, thanks. I was a loser who was valet parking at a strip club for $5. You gave me a better life. Thank you. That's what you should say.
True. All right, well, I think we hit all of our bases.
Yeah, it wasn't a Tom Cruise episode, Gina. It really wasn't. It wasn't a Tom.
It's not going to be. The only amusing thing was the whole
Mhm.
Jasmine Gino
They
situation.
they say that for the last 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah, and it was literally 30 seconds. Like, it was nothing. And I think Captain tweeted it. She was like, I really wish they would when they set up these fights, because production set this up. They're like, I wish it was more like Bravo or the Real Housewives where you would let us watch them throw down. That's and again, we don't condone violence, but if you're gonna set up a place for people to fight, at least film the fight and show it to us. Right? Like, because we deserve that. Like, because I guess on the Real Housewives, they literally let these women beat each other up or whatever. I don't watch the Housewives, but I think the tweet was implying that they do. So I was like, yeah, if they're gonna set up a fight between two cast members, at least film it and show it to us, right? And then just put a little disclaimer at the end of the show and be like, hey, don't be beating each other up, but still show us the fight.
Or before the show. I want to see the fight.
Well,
Mhm.
right? Can we watch? Like, I miss when I used to watch Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives, and there's a bunch of other shows where they would literally fight and then they stop allowing people to fight. And I was like, well, now you're gonna make me stop watching the show because I was only watching it because they always gonna let people fight.
Yeah, they probably don't want to show Jasmine getting all physical and throwing shit and doing.
Oh, yeah, because they did that with Angela and then people didn't like it. And they don't, like I said, she's their cash cow. They don't want to lose their cash cow. So they're like, well, no, we have to take the approach that, she's crazy but not violent. Right. So but we know what really
In
happened.
whose eyes? She is violent. She
She is
throws shoes.
But all the fucking
Fuck.
idiots that love all her shit.
Ugh,
Okay, that's all.
Fuck. Like,
Well,
throws
yeah,
shoes. She's like a fucking chihuahua.
no, you're right. She's a chihuahua. If somebody was actually to try to get really physical with her, she would call the police. In a hot second. She would run and call the police. She's one of those people, as long as there's security and cameras around, she act like she want to fight you. But then if you were to run into her somewhere on the street and meet her with that energy, she would call 911. I guarantee you. She's so scary.
Yeah. Well, she's a little petite thing, right? Like,
Yeah, she's like 5'7", 110 pounds. She's not gonna be able to hurt you. Like, so
Oh,
yeah,
I'd break her. I would break her like a twig.
she would run and call the police and not she would not meet Natalie with that same energy. If Natalie was walking down the street and she encountered Jasmine, Jasmine will be in the ICU. I guarantee you.
mhm. True. All right. Well, I see the clock and it's 1:11, so I guess we should end it.
Yeah, it's very, very late. And it's not. It wasn't me this time. So
This is me, but yeah, hardly because part of it is the fucking episodes are just kind of boring. But yeah, otherwise, anyway, yeah, that was me. But thank you for everyone listening. Okay, I'm gonna do my outro, okay?
okay.
I'm gonna end it, okay?
Okay.
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 Thank you everyone for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a.
It's on a Sunday.
Sunday.
All right, peace
Thanks
out.
for listening. Peace out, everybody. Bye.
Good night. Bye.